Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam. Thanks for stopping by the playground and hanging out for a minute. So today I've got something I didn't think I was going to get. And no, it's not a super cool limited to me release or anything, or even a Kyosho. It's an Amazon budget car. So in general, I typically stay away from, Amazon, Banggood, all those kind of, entry level, kid grade, kind of intro to hobby grade kind of cars. Not that they're bad or anything. It's just, my particular taste are Tamiya and Kyosho and, all the big brands. I'm collecting them. So these generally don't fall in my wheelhouse. But I have seen some videos recently of these Rlaarlo cars. And sorry guys if I'm mispronouncing it. Rlaarlo, whatever it is. And they seem to be pretty good. And from what I can tell, they seem to be standing by their products and offer product support, which is kind of important. That's kind of why I go for these guys back here, because I know if I buy one today and break it 3 years from now, I should be able to get parts for it. And it seems like companies like this one are starting to carry a lineup of cars that share parts, so parts support should last for a reasonable amount of time. Now, 10 years from now, are you going to be able to find parts for this? Probably not, maybe so, I don't know. But is it a 10-year lifespan car? Probably not. I don't know. Don't think so. But you've probably seen videos on this already, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. This is the truck. The looks of it are pretty fantastic. If anything else, they get an A++ for the design and paint job and detailing that they put on this truck. I was very, very impressed with it when I got it out of the box. And I'll quickly run through some of it. I know a lot of you guys may have seen these already, so I'm just going to run through them. A couple things that stood out to me is, one, there's 0 stickers on this car. So you won't have issues with stickers peeling or decals scraping up, whatever you want to call them. Everything is screen printed into this body. There is no stickers or anything to catch on anything. And it's a really nice design body. Looks like a can of Mountain Dew. But just the little things that they did to it. They put little tiny plastic inserts into the center of the wheels to be green. Shocks are green. They color coded it very, very nicely. You even get a cool little green wheel on this radio. Outside of that, you get lights on the grill. You get lights on the roof. You get a nice plastic roof guard, which will protect the body. Once you roll it over and grind it down the asphalt, you're not going to wear a hole through the body. You're just going to grind off this plastic. So that's pretty cool. Inside, there are actually 2 little driver figures that have, decal seat belts and visors and everything. So really nice little feature for such a tiny car is to have a detailed interior. The other cool thing about the body is this roll bar is not just for looks. There's actually a plastic piece that goes throughout the body that reinforces this entire body to strengthen it up. That was pretty cool. Something you see on like X Maxes and T Maxes, but you don't really see in such a teeny little scale like that. Comes with your little wheelie bar. I have no idea if that's going to be useful or not. We'll find out here in a minute. But you get the car. The car is, it's 4-wheel drive. So it's got metal drive shafts in it. It does have plastic cups. But the differentials and the gear train in this is supposed to be metal. So you won't be stripping out plastic gears. Now it is just friction damped, but being an 18th scale or 16th scale, not that big of a deal. It's going to probably be bouncy regardless what you do with it. 380 size motor with the heatsink on it, all-in-one ESC speed controller that's supposed to be splash proof, and a 3-wire servo in here, so you can replace something if stuff goes bad. And there's enough room in here to replace, these electronics with aftermarket electronics. If you put this on a shelf and 5 years down the road, you pick it up, it's not working, and you can't find parts for it, you can put aftermarket electronics in here, no problem. Radio is nice. It's small enough for kids, but big enough for adults. The trigger is a little close to the handle, but comfortable enough to drive. Now, you're not going to thumb steer with it unless you have, 18-inch long thumbs, but it's not a trail truck, so really no point. Enough tension on the wheel. Feels nice. You have steering trim, throttle trim, a steering rate limiter, and throttle and steering reverses, and a push button on off and you'll see it's blinking. It's blinking because it's not bound to the receiver yet because the car's not on. But once that's on and this is bound, the lights stay on and you know that you have a connection and can drive it. Other than that, all you need is 3 batteries for the controller because you get 2 850 milliamp LiPo battery packs, 2 S packs. You get a USB charger. Now, I charged one with this charger and one with my regular charger. My regular charger took maybe 10 minutes to top off the battery. This took about a half hour. So I'm assuming from dead charge, this is probably going to take you an hour to an hour and a half to fully charge this back up. And if you have a hobby grade charger, probably that half hour range, maybe 45 minutes. You do have to charge these on, a low amperage. It doesn't give you a C rating on here. Probably 20, 30. It's not going to be a whole lot. You get an instruction booklet, which is basically just runs down all the settings and features. And there's a lot of troubleshooting in here, which I really like seeing in here. Some of these manufacturers, just throw a car out there, give you an exploded parts diagram and the parts to run it. Don't give you any troubleshooting. And, a 10-year-old may need some troubleshooting skills if something stops working all of a sudden, or there's a light on here blinking and they don't understand why. And mom and dad may have never held an RC car in their life. So good to see that there is some troubleshooting stuff in here. And Rlaarlo seems very interactive and are willing to respond to questions and problems and help you troubleshoot. I've seen that through a couple other people. All right, so I'm going to stop talking now. Let's take it outside, see how it runs. I'm going to run it in regular grass and see if this little thing can navigate, a average lawn. And then I'm going to take it out to the racetrack and see, can it get around the racetrack? I'm sure it's going to be better than the Radio Shack RC I took out a little while ago. So, there's already a low bar for that track. All right, guys, let's see what it does.
So dirty.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I only got a little bit of footage running tonight. And if you guys are in the U.S. and have ever watched any NASCAR over the last 20 years, the great Darrell Waltrip once sung, "You picked a fine time to leave me loose, wheel." So yeah, tire fell the hell off. No big deal. The biggest thing I was worried about is when the tire came off, the little green insert came out along with it. So basically, I was able to find this, which was a little tricky in the springtime when all the little plants and weeds that are sprouting up on my track are bright lime green, just like this one. But all it does is it cups right into the hole there, and then the wheel nut goes on top of it. Well, hey guys, real quick, I want to jump in. This is more current day Addam than previous Addam. Two things. One, apologies for previously recorded Addam singing. Nobody should be forced to listen to that, but it happened. Second, the big thing. I reached out to Rlaarlo and spoke with a rep last night. Extremely helpful, extremely apologetic that anything happened, and they're sending me replacement parts immediately. So in the next, probably by the end of the week, I'll have the replacement parts in hand, be able to fix the truck and get it back out and running. So, everything else was recorded previously. I just wanted to jump in here before we kind of got into what happened and, all that, just to explain that. So we'll jump back to previously recorded Addam now. So after some thorough investigative research by, pulling out a nut out of my extras bag, the rear axle, the 3mm standard Tamiya, nut, goes on to the axle no problem and, starts right away. So 3mm screw. The front, however, you can literally slide it on until the axle is sticking out of the nut. So the first, I would say almost quarter inch of that axle shaft is missing thread. I don't know whether it stripped or was just misthreaded from the factory. And something's wrong with that front axle shaft, so I have to contact Rlaarlo because that's actually a CV shaft on the front. I don't know if the axle comes out of it or not, but at this point, we're kind of DOA. But, I'm relatively confident that they're not going to have a problem working with me and providing a replacement part. Now, let's talk about how it ran overall. If you're planning on running this in your front yard, in your grass, you were going to burn up that motor. I ran it maybe 15 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes out here beside the garage in the grass. And then we took it out on the track and ran it for another, 7 or 8 minutes. And then the front wheel fell off. You can't touch the motor. Well, you can't touch the heatsink at least. I wouldn't even try to touch the motor. The motor actually gets so hot that you can feel it. There's actually a hot spot right here in the plastic chassis where that motor's sitting. Now, you can touch that. But I would say if you ran 2 of these battery packs back to back in grass with this thing, you are going to fry something or severely damage the magnets in that motor. It gets toasty. So if you are looking to get one of these, this would be fun on, concrete or asphalt to where you have a nice smooth surface. And if you saw some of the running footage on the track, on that turf infield, this thing wanted to flip right over. So high traction areas, carpet, anything super high traction where the tires aren't going to slide some, this thing just wants to flip over. Which, it's a teeny tiny little truck. I don't think it's necessarily a fault of the truck. I think a little bit of the suspension is a little stiff, and those springs with no oil dampening, it just kind of catches and flips. Now, suspension, this thing had a heck of a time getting around the track. Now, my track is not a super prepped surface. There's lots of lumps and bumps. The water runs across one side and it has some ripples. So when this thing was, going down there, it was dancing and darting all over the place. I did find out if you dial the steering back, so I was probably getting around the track fairly consistently about 35%, maybe 40% of the steering throw. Basically, I had the dial kicked way back over here because if you turn it up to 100%, the front tires, they just flip back and forth so fast, it just makes it super darty. So, I don't want to sound complainative. It did break. Things break, and, there are manufacturer defects, and I'm pretty confident that this was a manufacturer defect. The rear looks fine, has threading all the way out, but you can kind of see and feel that front. It doesn't feel like it was threaded properly. I'll take a look at the other ones, but, I'll get some pictures of this front one and let you know. And I will be contacting Rlaarlo and seeing what they can do to help me out to try to get this part. Again, I just think it was a manufacturer defect. So don't hold that against them. If they tell me to pound sand and, we're not going to help you out at all, I might warn you guys about buying one. But at this point, I think, for the price, right now, I think I checked Sunday. Today is Monday. I think I checked yesterday, and the price on these guys are around the $50, $55 something dollar mark. And, for that, sure, get one for you and your kid, run it around, set up a little obstacle course or track in your driveway with some sidewalk chalk. And 2 of these, you get the green one and the red, white, and blue one, it'll be a blast. Like I said, if you're planning on giving this to your kid, you've got a big, thick, rich, lush lawn, and that's all they're going to be able to run it in, they're probably going to cook something. General running, where it's not struggling to find grip on a loose surface, probably be okay. Anyway, guys, sorry it's a short one today. Sorry I rambled on a little bit, but I kind of wanted to explain, as much as I can about this. Oh, one other thing. Wheelie bar, pointless. The bumper would have done a good enough job keeping it from flipping over. It doesn't have enough torque to, do wheelies off the line. So unless they come out with a brushless version of this, the wheelie bar is just kind of there for a grab handle or something. Anyway, guys, everybody out there, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe. I'm coming at you with a whole lot more stuff coming up soon. So everybody hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.